I have a dream, I have a goal, and people's opinions cannot pay my bills. People's opinions cannot be the thing that I put all of my attention on, because none of that is going to help me have the freedom that I want, the financial success that I want, the business that I want, the community that I want. People's opinions just aren't worth my fucking dreams. And that's what you have to get to that point. You have to get to the point where your fear of being seen is not worth the discomfort of staying where you are. A lot of us, I think we waste a lot of time when we think that in order for us to take action on our goals, in order for us to show up online, in order for us to start our businesses, like we think that we have to wait until we're more confident. We think we have to wait for the courage to show up. But here's the thing, what successful people do that poor people don't, right? That people who don't ever get to experience their dream life, what they do is that they recognize that the fear, the doubt, none of that might never go away. So if it might never go away, but you have this thing that you want, what is the only option? The only option is to learn how to continue despite it. The only option is to learn how to take it with you, right? You can take your fear with you, but you cannot let it drive. Hello and welcome back. My name is Juditha and I am your mindset coach and I'm your dream life advocate. In this space, we talk about all the things that matter when you're creating your dream life, from your fears, your insecurities, your comfort zone, your brain, your identity, like all the stuff that matters, because I'm trying to do the same thing. So trust me when I say that I get it. I've been where you are, and sometimes I'm still there, guys. Sometimes I'm still there. Okay. Today, we are going to be talking about the fear of being seen. We're going to be talking about how to get over it, how to deal with it, why it happens, what your brain is doing, all of that good stuff, so that you can show up for your business, you can show up for your brand, you can show up online, you can show up in front of your family. When you have big dreams and goals that scare you, right? And when you have big goals and dreams that most people around you don't understand, you have to be so rooted in them that you cannot be shaken. So this is how you're going to do it. First thing I want to address about the fear of being seen is what the fear of being seen actually is. It's the fear of being judged. It's the fear of someone saying, damn, I see her trying. I see her being cringe. I see her being corny. I see her trying to show up for this business. I see her trying to start something new. The fear of being seen is really the fear of being judged. It's the fear of somebody seeing you outside of the persona that you try to put up, right? It's the fear of somebody seeing you make a mistake. It's the fear of being seen as not being perfect. If you are someone who is entrepreneurial, if you're someone who is ambitious and you have goals, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a fear of being seen. So the first thing that I want you to do is to not see this as something that is wrong with you. Like, there are thousands of people. I find it hard to believe that anyone who has a dream to do anything great does not have some type of fear of being seen or some type of fear of putting yourself out there. Because here's the thing, we all exist within a comfort zone, and your comfort zone is who you are. It's the person that you've grown to be due to the things that you do every day, to the thoughts that you think every day, to the job that you go to every day, to the friends that you have. All of that is what we call our comfort zone. And your comfort zone does not necessarily have to be comfortable. It just has to be repetitive. It just has to be what you do consistently, to the point where your brain has wired itself to know that this is your normal state of being. So when you feel a discomfort with where you are in life and you say, I want to change. I want to do something different. I want to start this business. I want to create a brand online. I want to post. I want to go live. When you want to do anything like that, it automatically feels as if you are going against who you actually are, and your brain cannot take it. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about next. What your brain is actually doing when you have a fear of being seen. What your brain is doing is protecting you. Your brain's ability to come up with excuses, your brain's ability to come up with the doubts, to come up with the fears, it's all supposed to be meant to keep you exactly where you are. Because if you're too afraid to be seen, then you are not going to create your dream life. You are not going to take the risk. You are not going to start the business, right? You are not going to start that social media account. If you have a fear of being seen and you believe it to the point where you feel like, I'm just not ready, your brain loves that shit, because your brain is like, bet, we're getting her to stay the same. We're getting her to stay exactly where she is. We're getting her to continue working this job. It does not care about your success. It does not care about your dreams. It does not care about your goals. What your brain cares about is, if we do the same exact thing that we did yesterday, if we do that same thing today, we are going to survive. We are going to see another day. And that is what your brain cares about. Your brain cares about your safety. It cares about the repetition. It cares about the patterns. It cares about the routines that you have always had. And it does not matter how healthy or unhealthy those things are for you. So that's what you really need to understand. When you have a fear of being seen, when you feel trapped in a box that you have put yourself in, know that it's not just like something that is wrong with you. It's not just that you're incapable. It's not that you're weak. It's just that you have an unmanaged brain, and you just have to learn how to train it into being okay with the uncertainty, into being okay with the fear, into being okay with feeling so much discomfort, because you know that where you're going, this discomfort is temporary, right? It always is. Imagine like when you start a new job, right? It's always uncomfortable to learn the new settings, to learn the new systems, to learn your new coworkers. Like there's so much discomfort. I don't know about you, but for me, like I can remember any job that I start, I always feel like shy. I always feel like, damn, I have to like relearn every freaking thing. And then you get a few months into the job and it's like, you know, everyone, you're showing up like it's nothing. You're doing the job like it's nothing. That's how it is with your dreams. That's how it is with your goals. And if you can just be in the beginning, that part, you know, where you don't know what you're doing exactly, but you know you have a vision and you can hold on to that vision no matter how uncomfortable it feels, eventually you will get to the part where being seen doesn't feel so scary. Like I know for me, when I first set out to be a coach, right? When I first set out to start a business where I have to show up online, I was definitely scared. Not only was I afraid of just like being seen, but I was so judgmental on myself. I was like, how do I look? Like I was thinking about how do I sound? I was thinking about what am I saying? I was thinking about who's going to understand me? You know, who's going to agree with me? Who's going to disagree with me? There was so much discomfort because I was so focused on the outside, where I was so focused on what people are going to say about me, what people are going to think about me, when I when none of that matters, because I have a dream, I have a goal, and people's opinions cannot pay my bills. People's opinions cannot be the thing that I put all of my attention on, because none of that is going to help me have the freedom that I want, the financial success that I want, the business that I want, the community that I want. People's opinions just aren't worth my fucking dreams. And that's what you have to get to that point. You have to get to the point where your fear of being seen is not worth the discomfort of staying where you are. So how do you deal with the fear of being seen? My goal here isn't to necessarily tell you how to get over it, because from what I've found is you might never necessarily get over it. But what you do is you get used to it, right? You get numb to the thoughts that are telling you might be judged. You get numb to the feelings that someone might have an opinion about you. You get numb to the feeling that you might show up and someone might see you trying and you might fail, right? You might make a mistake. You might say the wrong thing. People might disagree with you. You just kind of become numb to it or used to it, or just like the discomfort of it. It just doesn't affect you as much. So maybe you might not ever get over it, right? Because I still have those thoughts when I post sometimes. I still think about, well, what are they going to think about me? Who's going to disagree with me? Like, what am I saying? Are they going to understand me? Like, I still have some type of like apprehension towards it. However, it just does not outweigh my goals. It doesn't outweigh my dreams. It does not outweigh what I know I can create if I'm just willing to put the content out there. So this is what you're going to do. The first thing I want you to really do is, of course, it's always going to be internal work, because who you are inside is going to reflect everything you do on the outside. So the question that I want you to start asking yourself is, what would I do if I just didn't care? And I actually have a YouTube video specifically titled this. I'm going to try to link it somewhere here, but I want you to ask yourself, what would I do if I just didn't care? Like, what if I didn't care what people said about me? What if I didn't care what people thought? What if I didn't care that someone might see me start this business and it could fail? Like, it could. What if someone sees me posting content? What if I show up in a way that people around me have never seen me show up? What if I show up in a way that my family has never seen me show up? What if I speak about things that no one has seen me talk about? Like, what if I didn't care about any of that? What if I didn't care about being judged? Ask yourself the right questions, because the answers that you provide to that is who you actually are, right? If you say, if I didn't care about people seeing me fail, I would have started this business last year. If I didn't care about people judging what I might say, I would have posted this content yesterday. Who you really are is the person that you would be if you just didn't care. So start asking yourself, what would I do if I didn't care about XYZ? Because when you can understand that underneath that feeling of not wanting to be judged or not wanting to be seen is who you really are, then the vision of that person can become clearer. Because then you can say to yourself, damn, so if I didn't care, I would post the content. Like, if I just didn't care about these people saying me, I would do this. If I just didn't care, like, what am I risking? Like, how much money am I losing? Like, what dreams am I sacrificing because I care so much about what other people might say? I care so much about needing other people to support me and agree with me and align with what I'm saying and what I'm doing. And I just need people to believe what I believe in. Like, you have to really ask yourself the right questions. Your brain does not care about your dreams. It does not care about your goals. So that's the first thing I want you to do. Ask yourself, what would I do if I just didn't care? Now, the second thing that you're going to do, this is going to be the process. This is going to be what takes the most time. But I promise you, if you do this consistently, eventually you will show up for yourself. You will show up for your brand, the business that you want to start. You will show up. You have to start to train your brain to know that you will be safe. And the way that you do that is, yes, through action, right? Through the very thing that you are trying to avoid. In order to convince your brain that you can be judged and you will be safe, you have to be able to take action. You have to be able to let your brain experience the very thing that you're afraid of, right? And for me, what that looked like was I started posting videos of myself speaking. I started posting to YouTube. I started talking about my ideas, my experiences, my beliefs, what I feel is the key ways to make your life easier. And as I post, right, as I get people in the comment section that disagree with me, people that agree with me, as I have people in my family come up to me and tell me, oh, we've seen your videos on social media. Like, as I expose myself to the very thing that is scaring me, the very things that I was afraid of, my brain slowly but surely starts to learn that I won't die, right? Because that's the thing. Your brain is thinking that your visibility is death. Like, as illogical as it sounds to us, like, that is how your brain is looking at it. Anything that is new, anything that is outside the norm, your brain is like, hold on, this could kill us, right? Like, being seen could kill us. So when you take action and you mess up and people see and you survive, you can tell your brain, I survived, didn't I? Like, yeah, some people may have seen me mess up, but I survived. When you post the content and someone has an opinion, you will survive, right? And what I've learned is 9 times out of 10, like, people are so consumed with themselves. People, they don't have the time to be worried about you. They don't have the time to consistently judge you, right? And those that do judge you, it's probably because there's something within you that they wish they could replicate, right? Here's the thing. Not a lot of people have the balls to create their dream life. Not a lot of people have the balls to start a business. Not a lot of people have the balls to be seen trying. So when you put yourself out there, you are going to trigger people. Be prepared for it. And it's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because you're doing what they wish they could. When you tell someone your dreams, when you tell them your goals, and they immediately bring up doubts and fears and insecurities, know that it's a reflection of who they are. It's not a reflection of you. It's not a reflection of what you're capable of. So recognize and realize that as well. So in this phase, what you're doing is you're going to treat this as an experiment, because guess what? If you remember in science class, when you're performing experiments, it's not about failing or succeeding necessarily. It's just about trying things to see what works. And this is what you're going to be doing in this phase. You're going to do whatever it is, the very thing that you're afraid of, you're going to do it. You might need to get an accountability partner. If that's the case, I want you to join my community, the REWIRE Society. It's literally for women who want to put themselves out there, women who want to learn how to get over the fear of being seen, who want to get over the overthinking. It's called the REWIRE Society. You will have a community of women who are doing the same thing. And of course, you'll have me as your coach to walk you through it every step of the way. Okay, but this is what you're going to do. You want to take the action, the stuff that feels like so uncomfortable to you. You have to develop the mindset to go after it anyways. You have to develop the mindset to take your fears, your doubts, your insecurities with you. And the way that you do that is by taking that action, no matter what you feel. This is where discipline comes in, right? Because discipline has nothing to do with motivation. It has to do with, you have this goal. You recognize that you have to become this type of person to reach this goal. And then no matter what, no matter how you feel, no matter what you think, you act in alignment with that version of you that accomplishes this thing, that creates this dream life. That's what discipline is all about. So that's how you're going to conquer the fear of being seen. You're going to start with those 2 things. You're going to ask the right questions. What would I do if I just didn't care? And then you're going to give your brain proof consistently that you will survive. And you can start very small. Maybe tomorrow you won't post a video of you speaking on YouTube. Maybe tomorrow you won't launch the business. But what's the smallest thing that you can do that is a little uncomfortable, but is taking you closer and closer to that goal, to that life, to that business? that you say you want. Okay? I hope this was helpful. That is it for today. Make sure you drop a comment and let me know, like, what goal do you have that you're afraid to be seen trying? Like, what is it that you're actually afraid of doing? And let's talk about it in the comments. Let's just use it as like a group chat. Again, ladies, if you want accountability, if you want a community, if you want a course, if you want weekly coaching, I want you to join the REWIRE Society. The waitlist is open. I'm going to leave the link in the description box. Put your name on the list, and I will see you guys on the next video.